Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 782, written by Vamplexia, an expertly brewed glitch in the Matrix. I work at a bar, and I'm the only daytime bartender available on staff at the moment. One of my main jobs is to make sure liquor and beer is stocked and ready for the dinner rush. When it's slow, I literally fully stock it to the brim as much as possible. Sell 3 beers, go get those 3 to replace them, etc. So it's like 2 p.m. and I notice we have some holes in the beer stock. I have a slow period, so I write a list. 1 Coors Light, 2 Lager, 1 bottle Well Vodka, 1 bottle Mezcal, 1 bottle Merlot. I take my list upstairs to our stockroom to grab the items. I remember grabbing the Coors Light and commenting to myself, the 24-pack is in a different place than it usually is. Which makes me look at the bottle as I pick it up, and I clearly read Coors Light. Okay, cool. I get my items and head back down to the bar to put them in their respective homes. Here's where things get interesting. The missing beer that I wrote down as Coors Light is not missing. The Coors are fully stocked. The Miller Lite next to it, however, is missing 1 single beer. Okay, no big deal. I must have mistaken the brand, it happens. Instead of going back upstairs to trade beers, I decide to put the Coors Light on the empty bottom shelf and decide to grab a Miller Lite later. So that's what I do. I put a single bottle of Coors Light on the bottom shelf. I close the cooler and go about doing some other work for the next shift. About half an hour later, a few of my regulars come in, and I know the one lady likes Bud Light, so I turn around to grab it out of the cooler and see that the Coors Light on the bottom shelf is different now. The Coors Light that I almost dropped on my way down the stairs to place it in its home, the Coors Light that I stared at 3 separate times and made mental notes about, is gone. In its place, a bottle of Miller Lite. Miller Lite, not Coors Light. No one was behind my bar but me. I will swear on whatever you want me to. I am dead certain that beer was a Coors Light. But sitting in its place on the bottom shelf is a single bottle of Miller Lite. The crazy thing is today, within the same 4-hour period, 3 separate people in my immediate world have had glitch stories. I was a mild follower before, but now I'm 100% convinced the Matrix glitched today. Case notes for file 782. An expertly brewed glitch in the Matrix. So I've been wondering, is the acceleration in the amount of glitches that are happening to people, especially disappearing object phenomena, is that related to universal instability? It's like the universe is losing cohesion. It kinda feels that way, doesn't it? In my core, something feels off. And it sort of feels like these disappearing objects they're disappearing because the universe is trying to realign itself. And these objects have to be in certain locations for certain purposes. It's all back to that butterfly effect. So I don't think these disappearing object phenomena events, or if they're transmuted or just moved around, switch locations, whatever it may be, when they're not where they're supposed to be, I think there's a reason for it. We just can't perceive it. But yeah, let me know if I'm the only one feeling that, like something is a bit off. Past decade has been a bit weird. Case file number 783, written by No Way Jose 919. The glitch is in the devil. It was like any other day for me. I grew up in the mountains of Puerto Rico, on a little farm where I helped my aunt and uncle with daily tasks. I would feed the animals, herd them back to their stables, clean up after them, etc. This particular day, my uncle had given me a remote control monster truck to reward me for all my hard work. I was so excited to play with it, so I immediately went onto the street to play. I was right in front of the house when this happened, although the view of my aunt and uncle's house was obstructed due to the huge fence and big trees. I was just minding my own business, playing with the remote control monster truck, when I noticed a dust devil. It was huge and it felt like it was calling to me. I got inside the dust devil. I saw a bright light and everything went completely white for a very long time. I honestly have no idea what was going on while everything went white, but when I finally came back to it, my aunt and uncle came running towards me. I was back in front of the house. They picked me up and kept asking me where I went and what I was doing. Apparently, I was gone for about an hour or two, and they couldn't find me. They were just about ready to go to the police when they found me. Such a strange day. I don't think I'll ever figure out what really happened. Case notes for file 783. The glitch is in the devil. So was this some sort of spirit that created the dust devil, and then when you were inside, isolated away from other people, somehow whisked away your consciousness to some other spot? I'm not sure what the white light was about though. Was that a near-death event, or did you actually die from a dust devil? Maybe there was no dust devil, and the white light was an alien abduction event. You were seeing the beam. Strange that it would be during the day, but probably weren't a lot of people around, so I could see that. The dust devil would just be your mind trying to make sense of it, creating an event that didn't really happen, but that would make sense to you, to block out the memory. Because usually, we don't just completely black out memories, we replace them with something else. Such a small and quick glitch, but it really does give me alien vibes. I like that. Hopefully they treated you well, if that was the case. If something like this happened where I had a memory that didn't seem right, I wouldn't want to try to get to the bottom of it, if that makes sense. You know, going to hypnotherapy and stuff like that to unlock the repressed memory. I'd be a bit nervous. I'd let it be. But that's just me. Maybe what you'd find out is actually a positive thing. Maybe it is just some entity messing with you. But the white light, that's the weird part. Bonus file. Written by Iyager, Loki at the truck stop. This all happened about a decade ago at a travel center in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I worked a night shift as a prep cook there. While there, I had a few strange experiences that I'll detail now. The first was pretty standard. I was chopping onions, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a figure walk past me and stop in the corner. When I turned to look, no one was there, and I felt the base of my spine go ice cold. Now, to clarify, my family has a history with spirits. Had a great-grandma who was a medium. I used to see shadow figures all the time in my childhood home, until I was 15 or so. And then started seeing them again when I was in a deep depression with suicidal tendencies. Much better now, in my early 20s. That chill down my spine always accompanied these experiences, and I use it as an indicator a spirit is near. Anyway, after that first experience, I started to ask around, and this was a common occurrence here. 3 or 4 people had the exact same thing happen. Busy with a task, a dark figure at the edge of their vision walks by. When they turn to look, it's gone. It would happen again occasionally, but I'd just ignore it. The second thing that happened wasn't a single incident, but something that happened regularly, usually after seeing it in the corner of my eye again. Part of my job as prep cook was making large batches of soups and chilies for the next day. I'd put these 5-gallon pots on the burners with the meat to start browning, turn to chop the veggies, and when I turned back, all my burners would be off. Fairly innocuous, but it happened too often for it to be my error, and again, it was accompanied by a chill down my spine. The final incident actually happened to someone else, but I was present for it. To explain, here's a quick rundown of how our walk-in was laid out. The door was in my prep kitchen. Inside the walk-in was a second door that led to our freezer. The freezer had its own light switch that was located in the regular walk-in fridge. So the line cook goes into the walk-in. I think nothing of it until he comes out hot a few minutes later, wanting to kick my ass. After I calm him down, he tells me he was in the freezer section when all of a sudden the lights turn out and he starts hearing a man laughing, coming from the main walk-in. I let him know that not only was it not me, but I'd been in the kitchen the whole time and no one else had gone in. He goes white as a sheet and doesn't want to talk about it anymore. Anyway, those were my experiences at that truck stop. Thankfully, I don't have much contact with the other side now that I'm in a much better headspace. Case notes for the bonus file, Loki at the truck stop. Yeah, so the chill down your spine, a lot of us get that, and it's no joke. It's sort of our natural, innate spidey sense, and we all have it to one degree or another. But related to supernatural forces, that's less attributed, or at least less acknowledged. But I do believe it's a superpower we all have that isn't discussed very often, but should be. Now, if this was a trickster, some, not malicious entity, but just some echo that wants to have fun, it goes beyond what I would do. This induces a bit too much fear. Shutting off lights, okay, but the creepy laugh, that's too far. For me anyways. For instance, my current pranks and my roommate involve, plastic wrap in inoptimal places or peanut butter on doorknobs, although Mr. Ben usually takes care of that before the prank is initialized. And there's a lot of supernatural forces that seem to emanate from New Mexico. Sort of like it's a fulcrum for supernatural events or forces. Wonder why. And it's not just spirits, there's more alien activity there too. Why do aliens like that particular spot?